NFC card, tap, as well as Apple Wallet for any iOS users that are bringing their iOS devices and just want to be able to open using their phone without any NFC card or any key fob or third-party credential. They can support that. The fingerprint biometrics on our G4 doorbell readers, phone unlock as well. You can unlock and have a two-way conversation with any of the intercoms, any of the doorbells to the Unifi phones. We also support motion detection. So if you have an exit or request to enter, you can even push a button and open those entryways. And Unifi Access is basically summed up with what are called these control hubs. You have these control hubs paired with each door. So one access control hub is paired to a door or to a gate or to an elevator, and it's powered using Ethernet with power over Ethernet output for readers, for cameras. So you can have a home run to one control hub and have multiple outputs for door readers or cameras or intercom units, any power over Ethernet device near to the door that the user will interface with, like a terminal device. We also have these relays for input. You can hook up motion sensors for detecting whether a door is open, door position as well for detecting whether the door was left open, emergency systems like alarm systems. These can even be receive input from those systems. As well as on the right side, you see the outputs, including, of course, these lock relays. One of these relays is going to, of course, provide powered output to locks that need power in order to open, as well as dry relays. So maybe the door already has its own power source, and so we just need to send the signal to enable the motor or open up that door, that lock. Auxiliary output relays as well for automatic door openers. Any sophisticated doors as well can also be integrated. So that's basically it. The access hub, it sits next to the door, and you have your access readers, your cameras, any PoE devices, they'll receive power over Ethernet from the access hub. And we also sell these as quick start kits for just a single door access. If you're not a physical security expert, it's no problem. The same way Unifi lets you make powerful Wi-Fi networks, powerful networks of any size without having a lot of knowledge, we also give you this ability using these quick start kits. So this quick start kit comes with the hub. It also comes with some credentials, as well as a simple reader and a professional reader that has doorbell functions. It has a camera for two-way communication with maybe the administrator or receptionist. It has a touchpad built into it. We also make the tamper-resistant access reader that combines the hub into the reader itself. So instead of having a separate hub and a separate reader, we combine both of those functions into a single low-cost device called the Unifi Access Ultra Reader. And we also have enterprise-grade access hubs for connecting multiple doors to a single closet. So you can see here there's around 8 of these hubs with 8 power over Ethernet outputs. So you could have 8 door readers and 8 doors connected to this enterprise-grade hub with battery backup as well in case you lose power over Ethernet power from the switch. We also have a quick start kit for connecting your elevators, turning those into managed access control entries via PoE, and these will support up to 11 floors. Our intercom terminal, as I mentioned, is often paired with these viewer devices. So let's say that you are at a multi-dwelling unit or a apartment complex or a office building with many offices, and somebody visits, they would just need to use the directory here, but employees could also just scan their badge or their QR code in order to get entry. But anybody using the directory can have a two-way conversation with receptionists or anybody interfacing with the viewer. We also make a quick start kit for our gate access hub. The gate access hub allows you to have up to 2 different gates managed from the hub. So this is great for a entry and exit solution, or even a large gate with 2 different operators. And you can have gate access paired with this intercom unit, as well as our AI cameras for license plate unlock support when you're using a compatible AI capable camera. All right, so just to review the portfolio of products, you basically need one hub for each door or elevator or gate. And we have many different versions, including the Access Ultra, which allows you to combine the reader function with the hub itself and those lock terminals, as well as like entry and exit request input. And these door hubs, they get paired with one door. The gate hubs, they get paired with one gate, or the elevator hub with one elevator. Our access readers and intercoms are basically what the users are interfacing with. They'll, as I mentioned, they all support many different functions like remote access, near field communication, mobile apps, hand waving, motion, Apple Touch Pass, facial recognition, QR codes, and many more things are on the horizon, more things to come, as well as things like keypads, for example, on the Reader Flex. We also make our own door locks, but if you want to use third-party door locks, that's no problem. You just have to make sure that the hub supports the required voltage range of your lock. And our hubs, I believe, are around 12 volt DC with 1 amp output. But there's also a dry relay in case your locks have their own power. So to wrap up, I'm actually going to go into the software and just give you a brief overview and demo before we go into QA really fast. Basically, you have access policies that you assign to different groups of users, and those users, depending on which group they belong to, will have access to different doors at the site that your Unifi devices are managing. We also have what's called the caller manager, which allows you to create a complete intercom directory and assign to like an intercom or to a reader or any terminal a number of different receptionists or admins that can answer these particular devices. So if somebody is calling room 203, 202, that's Sandy Lee's room. It's also going to send an alert on the Chime device. It's going to send a doorbell to the viewer device, etc. All right, so I am looking at the time, and unfortunately, we're pretty close to where we need to end. So I'll go right into the Q&A and turn the time back over to Fikri and thank everybody for their participation. Maybe we'll have time for just 2 or 3 questions today. And for any other questions that Fikri and the team is unable to answer, we can follow up over email afterward.
Halo guys, teman-teman semua, apakah ada pertanyaan mengenai produk physical security, entah itu untuk kamera ataupun akses dan juga AI detection yang ada di Unifi? Jika teman-teman ada pertanyaan, silakan langsung tulis di kolom chat, karena kita memiliki waktu sekitar 10 menit untuk membahas pertanyaan tersebut. Dan juga mungkin untuk teman-teman yang sudah menulis di kolom chat, mungkin bisa dicek lagi pertanyaannya karena saya sudah jawab juga di kolom chat. Jadi misalnya teman-teman masih ada rasa penasaran ataupun misalkan baru muncul pertanyaannya, teman-teman bisa chat atau hubungi saya di WhatsApp yang sudah saya kirimkan di chat box ataupun ke email.
All right. Hey, Fikri, I see a lot of questions and it looks like you answered almost all of them. Was there anything else that you need me to maybe follow up with before I hop off?
Yeah, I already summarized some question for you to be answered.
Okay. Could you go ahead and read them to me? Because I'm not finding them very easily.
I already sent. I sent again.
All right, great. Question and answer to be answered. AI query on the AI key will be support using more language or only English. Correct that today we only support English, but we are working very hard on expanding and we're constantly training our models with AI experts. So it's improving the technology and we will soon have support for other languages. The next question is, how far is the level of face detection using the Unifi AI camera? And can the Unifi camera count the number of people in a location? Great question. So it will really depend on the particular camera model that you have. Where we have cameras that are, most of our AI facial recognition cameras will all be using 4K resolution, and you'll have facial detections, somewhere up to between 15, 20 meters away. It really just depends on like light scenarios, how well the pixels are being captured. But yeah, just a general kind of thumb, you're going to see facial detections at varying distances depending on different models. The next question is, can we use doorbell fingerprint function for employee attendance instead of facial recognition or NFC on G3 Reader Pro? So I think that's a great feature that I'm pretty sure our team is already working on. I will relay that to our team. If you want employee attendance today, we do support that in the Unifi Identity software, and all you really need is a console device to get Unifi Identity running on your site. The last one here is, does G2 or G3 Reader Pro support intercom feature in the future? So it depends on which feature you're referring to. The intercom has a built-in directory. I don't think we have plans to add the directory because it's a very small screen, but you can have a two-way conversation with visitors, and it has a doorbell function. So it operates very similarly. If you don't want to have this large intercom terminal at the site for visitors, you can just install this smaller Reader Pro, and the Generation 2 as well as Generation 3 both support that two-way communication doorbell function as well. And there's one more question. How is the camera ubiquity when facing highlight of car lights? I would recommend looking at our LPR camera for any scenario where you need coverage of cars, infrared night vision. So it shouldn't be having issues with visible light. It's because it's relying on infrared. So yeah, other camera models like these AI domes, pretty much all of our cameras support infrared. So yeah, it's definitely check out our camera line. I do see Fikri's following up there. So I'd like to thank everybody for their questions. If there's anything else we can follow up with after, sorry to cut it off now, but gotta hop off, and we're looking forward to our next webinar with you guys soon, and we'll have a similar topic on more Unifi solutions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamie, for your support today. And I think we can wrap up our webinar today because there are no more questions on chat box.
I did see one more question I forgot to answer. It says, can the Unifi camera count the number of people in a location? And maybe really quickly, I will show that. We have a feature. Let me share my screen one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
So the feature I want to cover here is called line crossing. So once you enable line crossing, you can specify for a particular location how many times somebody crossed going in or out or bidirectionally. So that's a very easy function you can set up with motion zones as well. And yep, that's how people typically track people counting with our devices.
Sorry, Jamie, can you share again the presented screen because there are no more image or some share picture.
Okay, so are you able to see my screen now? This is on the Alarm Manager page.
Okay.
But yeah, when you come into, you can enable line crossing on a particular camera. So if I were to come to this camera here, and I was going to set up a different zone, I could edit the zone, specify which area that I want to be recording, and also set up what's called crossing lines. And with these crossing lines, you can specify the position at which you are detecting. So if you only want to detect people, or if you want to detect animals or vehicles using that crossing line, you can set it up that way as well. All right, I hope that answered the question, and looking forward to the next webinar with you guys. Thank you so much, Fikri. Maybe you can share the feedback link with everyone now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamie.
All right, goodbye.
Goodbye. Ya, teman-teman, misalkan ada pertanyaan setelah webinar ini, teman-teman bisa hubungi WhatsApp saya ataupun bisa open diskusi di grup forum yang sudah saya buat juga. Jadi teman-teman boleh share pengalaman menggunakan produk Unifi atau misalkan mau implementasi menggunakan produk kamera, wifi, ataupun akses, teman-teman bisa open discuss di forum yang sudah saya bikin di situ. Kemudian teman-teman, saya minta waktunya sebentar sekitar 3 menit untuk mengisi form feedback webinar. Jadi nantinya dari form feedback ini kita akan mengetahui apa saja yang perlu kita evaluasi dari webinar yang kita lakukan di kuarter pertama di tahun ini, seperti itu. Dan kemudian untuk informasi webinar lanjutnya, kita akan membuat webinar keempat yang akan kita lakukan di tanggal 19 Maret, lebih tepatnya itu di minggu depan. Jadi minggu depan kita dengan tim Ubiquiti akan membahas lebih detail lagi mengenai update yang sangat besar yang terjadi di router dan juga cloud gateway Unifi. Dan di router Unifi ini kita akan membahas lebih jauh mengenai fitur SD-WAN, kemudian firewall dan juga next gen firewall yang saat ini sudah mereka rilis. Kemudian juga kita akan membahas mengenai content filtering serta IDS dan juga IPS yang bisa dilakukan oleh si Cloud Gateway Unifi. Ya teman-teman, saya minta waktunya untuk mengisi form webinar feedback yang sudah saya kirim linknya di kolom chat. Jadi teman-teman, saya minta waktunya sekitar 2 menit untuk mengisi form evaluasinya. Saya kasih waktu sekitar sampai jam 9.55 untuk mengisi form feedback webinar. Dan juga untuk informasi lebih lanjut mengenai Ubiquiti dan juga acara yang akan kita buat, akan saya selalu update di forum DCS Indo WhatsApp. Jadi kalau misalnya teman-teman mau selalu update mengenai produk Ubiquiti, entah itu AirMax, radio, ataupun Unifi device, teman-teman silakan gabung ke WhatsApp forum Untuk gabungnya itu free, tidak ada biaya. Teman-teman tinggal klik linknya aja, dan juga untuk konsultasi bisa langsung hubungi saya melalui WhatsApp. Ya oke teman-teman, untuk waktu pengisian form feedback-nya sudah selesai. Terima kasih banyak teman-teman sudah bisa hadir kembali di acara webinar kita kayak yang ketiga ini, dan juga saya harap semoga teman-teman bisa join lagi di webinar kita yang keempat, tepatnya di minggu depan. Dan juga teman-teman jangan cepat-cepat bosan ya, selalu bertemu dengan kita untuk membahas produk Unifi dan juga yang lainnya. Oke, thank you semua.